scary, yeah. The building we stayed in was shaking with the wind.
Lots of banging and clanging and wind going here and there and everywhere.
It was just relentless. After that wind was relentless. About a week out, when we knew we were in the cone, I wanted to evacuate. My husband was like, let's see what happens.
And we felt pretty good about the location we're in today.
I've got a meteorologist friend from out of state who kind of gives me good intel when these kinds of things happen. And he said, hey, I really think this storm could hit you all at a Category 4. I think y'all need to get ready.
Hurricane watch for the following counties. In Florida, coastal Charlotte, coastal Lee and inland Lee.
But it became pretty clear in quick order that this was a wind event for us, a wind and rainfall event. Well, Hurricane Charlie was a very small, narrow storm, and that path of total destruction was very narrow. Hurricane Ian, the opposite. There's no portion of the county that wasn't impacted by some of the threats of Hurricane Ian.
We felt we were as ready as can be. Usually it is that 1, 2, 3 days out. You know, we hope that we've timed the messaging to the residents, if there's evacuations planned or just constant reminders.
Our staff in emergency management and our disaster partners, they remain on alert throughout hurricane season, and each and every time we have a system out there that may come our way, we're paying close attention to it, and Ian was no different.
Our staff is still working, even though our buildings are closed, to make sure that our community is prepared and that we are prepared for whatever response we need to have post-storm. We were getting reports throughout the storm. I remember one specific moment in the Emergency Operations Center where my team was working through one of our shelters that had an issue with the roof, and we were coming up with safety plans on how to evacuate those residents who came to us for safe haven in the middle of a storm.
But I do remember hearing some loud thuds, and that was a lot of the big oak trees that surrounded our house that were falling, thankfully away from the house, but you could almost feel the ground shake when one of those giant trees hit the ground, and you knew something was on the move out there.
One of the things that I did not expect is it looks like it's snowing out there with the rain just, coming so hard sideways. It looks almost like a blizzard, and the trees bent over, and once in a while things tumbling past.
The worst part was that evening, once it turned dark, after 7 p.m., there was a huge pine. How tall was that pine?
Oh Lordy, that's about a 75,
80 foot palm. Fell right outside our bedroom window. I mean, the next day
by
this
that much.
The storm surge potential was what really frightened us. And we had power long enough to see what was happening in Lee County. And that's when I really was scared of what we were going to find when we came home.
They were ready to get out and assess the damage and start responding to those who need help.
The tears of joy that I had seeing that my house was intact, it was just this incredible sense of relief.
We were just in disbelief. And I know it's just landscaping and pool and all that, and it can be replaced, but it does look like a third world country, and that's just one little snippet. There's people that's lost their homes.
I still don't have power, but I'm staying at my son's, and that's okay. He's got a generator.
I walked up and down the block and just could see all the trees that were down, the debris field that had blown through. And then it was, I was able to just kind of start prepping for what needed to happen when the sun came up.
The highest level of measured rainfall for this entire storm was in Grove City out in West County at 26.9 inches. That's an incredibly high amount of rainfall. We had wind damage throughout the entirety of the county. I'd hazard to say that there's probably not a structure in the county that didn't suffer some level of damage, even if it's just minor.
The community really all together, how everybody just came together quickly to help that recovery.
And this storm was bigger than anything that we could have responded to just with our own force. I will say the amount of resources that we got from
We're here for you.
From our neighbors in the state, from the state itself, from the federal government, from every community that was not impacted by this storm. We had resources coming in from all over.
You good, ma'am?
I think, especially in this political climate, it was nice to see people coming together in a way that we have not seen a lot recently. It doesn't seem that it mattered what political affiliation or religion you were. Everybody was just there to help each other.
You want a bag? Because I got lots of stuff I can load you up.
Charlotte County does seem to come together. It's a great place to live. I really believe that.
I do.
Yeah.
The way people come together, and those who are more fortunate do take care of those that are less. And the facilities and things that are, that the county does, I think is awesome.
The teamwork of our county, the city of Punta Gorda, all of our disaster partners really came through. And it was obvious early on that we were all here as one team working together, whether that's those individuals here in the Emergency Operations Center, our first responders out in the field, our employees out working in shelters, operating points of distribution, and the residents themselves coming together as a community, neighbor helping neighbor, from beginning to end. And to this day, we are still seeing that level of teamwork, that sense of community is shining through.